want to welcome you to this afternoon sitting. It's not an easy afternoon. I welcome you with a heavy heart. We've had unfortunate incidences in this country where gunmen have murdered soldiers, have murdered people in cold blood, with the latest being one of the bloggers, Ibrahim, that is Jaja Ichuli, who was murdered in cold blood. As the leader of the House, representing all people in Uganda, we strongly condemn this kind of barbaric killing which is being practiced on people. This kind of cowardice activity is not a very good one. We want to ask all the Ugandans not to take the law into their hands. We are all human beings. We have time to be born. We have time to die. Why would you go and kill a person? We may differ in terms of religion, politics, and whichever, but I don't think that is the best thing to do. No one has a right to take one's life under any circumstance. It's God that creates and God takes. There is on an ultimate end that there's time to be born and time to die. We shouldn't be killed with a gun. And I think we really need to call all Ugandans that let's live, much as we may disagree, let's live in harmony. There are better ways of solving problems. You don't have to have an opponent or an enemy die in cold blood. I want to send my condolences to the family of Jaja Ichuli, who died in cold blood, who was killed, and Parliament will stand with the people of Uganda and offer all its support with this unfortunate vice in our country. As we mourn the passing on of our brother, our colleague, our elder, our friend, Honorable Colonel Charles Engola, I want to express a displeasure with the unfortunate practice in this country where people celebrate the misfortune of those they don't agree with. It is inhuman. It is also uncultured and very immoral to celebrate the death of anyone because you hold different or divergent views. Beyond our different political, religious, and affiliations, we are all humans. First and foremost, we owe ourselves to be human to each other. It is normal to disagree and hold different views, but what binds us together is that we are all human beings. You don't need to kill me because I have disagreed with you, because at one time I will die. Charles was there with us here. He has died. He didn't need to be killed. And I've always told people, you'll waste your energy killing me because you'll go to hell. Me, I'll now go to heaven. Yes. Because when you start killing like that, and I want us to stand for a moment of silence in honor of our departed people.
In seconding the motion to pay tribute to a fallen son of the land of our ancestors and a very faithful servant of his people. Veteran Speaker, We can never get used to death, and death is such a shameless event that again has robbed us of a prominent Ugandan, retired Colonel Charles Ngola, former State Minister for Labor, Employment and Industrial Relations. On my own behalf, and on behalf of the alternative government, I convey my deepest sympathies to the bereaved family, the people of Oyam North, the people of Lango sub-region, the Parliament of Uganda, and the people of Uganda for this unfortunate loss. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, this is particularly true in light of the life about the foreign colonel well enumerated, a life intently lived for a service as a gallant soldier who has not only made a contribution to the legislation process of this country, but has also served in various capacities as an army officer, district leader, and as a minister. It is sad that retired Colonel Charles Ngola has passed on at a critical time when he are yet to conclusively deal with the regulation of labor externalization that was so close to his heart. We nonetheless are cognizant of his contribution when he took a decisive stance in cancelling licenses of non-compliant labor agents. He was courageous, and we applaud him for that courage. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, the death brings to light a sacrifice made in the past as the command of the UPDF 501 Brigade in Gulu, where retired Colonel Charles Ngola played a pivotal role in containing the LRA and restoring peace in northern Uganda. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, today's sitting, as we pay tribute to we are reminded of a similar sitting we had in the 10th Parliament, those of us who are here, following the gruesome murder of the late Honourable Ibrahim Abiriga and his bodyguard in June 2018. Today's case might be a little different, since the bodyguard who allegedly assassinated the honorable colleague also took his life immediately. The invitation I am making, Right Honourable Speaker, to this august House is that we should not have closed our mind to the various murders of ordinary and high-profile Ugandans, like the late John Kagezi, the IGP Andrew Felix Kawes, several Muslim clerics, among others, that we have witnessed since 2016. Right Honourable Speaker, 2 days after Honourable Kero's gruesome murder, another Ugandan, Ibrahim Tusubira, Jaja Ichuli, like you have mentioned and observed ably, was gunned down within the same neighborhood of the foreign minister. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to draw the attention of this House back to the address of the President that he delivered on 20th June 2019, in which he outlined a 9-point strategy intended to deal and defeat with insecurity in the country. I will particularly single out his directive to install security cameras across the country and the fingerprinting of all legal arms in the country. Right Honourable Speaker, the directives were followed with a supplementary budget allocation of more than 376 billion. But unfortunately, the killings did not stop, and they have not stopped. Nor have the cameras been effective in detecting the criminals, which explains why the state has not yet succeeded in prosecuting any of the cases in court. Right Honourable Speaker, strangely, Even the cases that have happened under the cameras, like one of February 2020, when a police truck deliberately knocked dead Rita Nabu Kenya, we are not captured. Are these real cameras or dummies? Right on the speaker. Right on the speaker. Police, and the police have turned there with another request of 187 billion for the next financial year to buy more of these malfunctional cameras. Right on the speaker. We are only lucky that the gunman who took our honorable colleague's life killed himself. But had he disappeared, the investigating officers would be feeding the country on a litany of explanations, like they do when asked about the extent of investigation into the previous killings and the May 2021 assassination plot against General Katumba Wamala, the Minister for Works and Transport. One wonders if all guns were fingerprinted right on the speaker, as indicated by the security budget requests, whose gun is being used to kill Ugandans? Whose gun was used to kill Ichuli? At least we know whose gun killed our honorable colleague. And now, we begin to make sense of the circumstances and events surrounding the gruesome murder of retired Colonel Charles Ngola, with the hope that we can find answers over time to some of the unexplained murders in this country. First, the death of retired Colonel Charles Ngola could have been preventable if it is held that prior to his transfer to his security detail, Private Sabiti was Captain Michael Mkula's bodyguard. However, owing to his questionable behavior, his behavioral disposition and temperament, Captain Mkula raised a red flag to the deploying authorities, causing his withdrawal. It is quite disturbing that an questionable character was redeployed before full rehabilitation. Right on the speaker, these are confessions from his commanders that had a checkered disciplinary record. And all they could do is redeploy to a very sensitive leader in this country. Not that any Ugandan is any less important, but that deployment is questionable and probably a point of investigation. Right on the speaker, ironically, the death of our colleague and his bodyguard has occurred in the month of May, in which we celebrate the International Labour Day. The month is also internationally dedicated to mental awareness. It is therefore a clarion call upon us to rise to the occasion and evoke our mandate to the two sometimes dictated issues now at stake by over-applying our tools of legislation. Right on the speaker, there has been talk of unprecedented enumeration on part of the airing of bodyguard. We don't seek to justify his conduct and decision in any way. We think it's time to dust the debate on the minimum wage, which has sprawled on the fence for a long time. Right on the speaker and honorable colleagues, Uganda is ranked among the top 6 countries in Africa in rates of depressive and anxiety disorders. According to statistics from the World Health Organization, close to 20%, that's about 6.8 million Ugandans out of the 42 million people in Uganda, have some degrees of mental illness, ranging from anxiety and depression to severe mental illness. This should be a wake-up call to the government to scale up investment in mental health and subsequently increase access to mental health services. Right, Honourable Speaker, our armed forces are extremely vulnerable. They are never at rest. If not in Somalia, they are in Congo. If not in Congo, they are in the South Sudan. If not there, in ECOMO. If not there, they are on the Swiss beating voters and Ugandans. Where are the UPDF rehabilitation centers for these officers and men? Honourable Speaker. Right, Honourable Speaker and comrades, that I conclude. The murder of our brother, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Ngola, calls for a candid conversation on the quality of inquest in this country, with the many unanswered questions that ought to be exhaustively interrogated here. It is time we invoked the Inquest Act for this and many unresolved murders and deaths that have occurred over the years. The police should this time around and for once surprise the nation with a conclusive and believable report on the murder of our colleague. It's not enough to say that we know the murderer, the killer. No, that's not a report. So we need a believable report this time around as a surprise from the police. Right, Honourable Speaker, this unfortunate death should also remind the nation of one of the unresolved challenges of our armed forces since independence, namely, who is recruited? What is the mode of recruitment? What is the mode of training and deployment? This House has processed citizens' complaints relating to biased recruitment in both the police and the UPDF. Probably some of the men and women in uniform shooting our people do not deserve our uniform. You've heard the concept of receive and train in the armed forces. People are supposed, with a questionable and checkered history, because they are sent on a sheet of paper, they are recruited. This information has been here on the floor. We must take concern. Finally, Honourable Speaker, to some of the citizens, the manner of their recruitment of these men and women in uniform makes them believe that they pay allegiance to those who recommend them, not the flag. This is the time to rethink and address this serious gap that has served to undermine the quality of our armed forces. Honourable Speaker, I'd like to again send my sympathies to the family.
So much, Honourable Leader of Opposition.